guy. What do you have to be sorry for? Thank you for gracing us with your presence, Theovar. It's so good to have you. So, what we're going to do, before we try this, whether or not we set it on fire or otherwise, we're going to do this cocktail from Foxworks Studio. This is, not Aerith. This one is Shadow Flare, inspired by Sephiroth from Final Fantasy. That's cool, dude. I love this. So we've got an ounce of Jägermeister, half an ounce of a blackberry liqueur. I'm going to sub that out with the only thing that I have that is blackberry flavored. I think I only have the one, but I'm going to double check my stock just in case. And then we add amaretto, lemon juice, and a bit of Angostura bitters. So let me make sure that all the blackberry stuff that I have is I'm aware of. Blackberry. I have blackberry flavored whiskey, and I have blackberry lavender, actually. Foxwork, I know you were asking about flower infusions for Aerith. No, actually, I'm not gonna do the blackberry lavender lemonade only because I know that it's lemon forward. I know that it's not. I know it's too lemon forward. Foxwork is like, can we set Shadow Flare on fire? We can. There are techniques to do that. It depends on how you want to do it, though. So I'm going to sub out the blackberry liqueur with this blackberry bird dog whiskey that I've got. It's the only blackberry thing that I've got. It is going to change the drink, but it shouldn't change any sort of balancing notes that I'm going to give to you. If anything, it might taste a little too much like whiskey. It might not, actually, because like the Jägermeister is technically the base of the spear here, so this might actually be a good thing. Let me go get that real quick. And think about this. Think about it this way, Foxwork. There are a couple things that we can set on fire. We can set on fire overproof rum. I don't have any other overproof spirits, but we could potentially set on fire vodka, potentially set on fire absinthe. I know that we can set on fire extracts. I've got vanilla extract, almond extract, and lemon extract. So you can try with that. Ryan's like, bar with an X explosion. Cole says we could take a bit of it for taste and a bit for flammability. Let me go get the blackberry liqueur. Don't look at my drawing. Not safe for you and I. There we go. I bought this for less than $5 at my local Fine Wine and Good Spirits because apparently they wanted to get rid of it. So this is a shaken cocktail. Strain and taste despair. I will note, depending on the execution of this, it might be difficult to set on fire, but we're gonna give it our best shot. Does this get garnished for anything? Any garnish? No garnish. I love it. All right, let's go for it. Let's grab our shaker for this one. Swap that around. We're gonna first add. We'll start with an ounce of Jägermeister. I have it over here. It's dark and spooky. I'm saying Foxworks saying almond would fit best with the theme because we've got the amaretto in there, right? I'm inclined to agree with that. It is a bit like those extracts are overpowering. So what I'm going to plan to do is I'm going to take, I know it doesn't call for a garnish, but what I'm going to do, Foxwork, to set it on fire, because I know this works, is I'm going to take a dehydrated wheel. I'm going to use a lemon wheel because we got a little bit of lemon in there, and I'm going to soak this into almond extract. And then that should light on fire, and it'll be a pretty roving flame. I see Dark Shadow out there saying, gotta head to bed. Have a great rest of the stream. I'll see you in the next one. Dark Shadow, as always, thanks so much for popping in. It's always a pleasure. So we'll do this thing here. Yeah, we'll start with the ounce and a half of the single ounce of Jägermeister. I'm running a little low on my Jäger. Might have to pick some of that up too. Oh yeah, very, very low on Jäger. Check that out. Let me write that on my board too. I'm apparently low on Jäger. Hit the Jäger! I'm seeing Annie saying, stripping Axel for parts. Literally, dude. I think this actually fell out of one of the chakrams. They all fell apart, y'all. They were show ready and then nothing more. But yeah, that's actually soaking the dehydrated garnish is a technique that I don't think it's new, but I discovered it, developed it, came into knowledge of while I was workshopping some recipes for the classes that I teach with Uncommon Goods. And by the way, I know the link is expired, so I'm not even gonna bother sharing it. Ryan says, does pea flower change the color of dark drinks, or does it only work with clear and light colored liquids? It should change the color of it. Depends on how long you steep it for. But yes, it can change the color, unless it's too dark already. Like, I don't think you're going to change the color of Jägermeister with pea flower. But for whiskey, yeah. Yes, it will. Also, the cool thing about pea flower is that it will have a slight color change when it comes into contact with something that is acidic or some change in pH. Also, it doesn't impart a lot of flavor. So you can add that color changing effect to more or less anything, and you'd be hard pressed to modify the flavor of the drink or knock it out of whack in any way. I see Foxwork saying, if you can think of one that will work. What is that in reference to? I just want to make sure I'm on the right track for that, Foxwork. Let's see. Next, we'll add a half an ounce of a blackberry liqueur. I'm using this blackberry whiskeys because that's what I got. Nice pop. Popping Sephiroth, perhaps? No. No. Then we'll add a quarter of an ounce of amaretto. There's my amaretto. There's my amaretto! And a big bottle of Dio Amor. Annie's saying class link. Oh, thank you, Annie. I appreciate that. I've been told the reviews are in. Apparently, it's okay. If you're wondering whether the classes are different than what you see here, yes, it is a more standard curriculum, but it's the same old me. I really don't act any differently, except I can see your faces. So we'll add a quarter of an ounce of amaretto, and then a quarter of an ounce of lime juice. No, not lime. A quarter ounce of lemon juice. Ryan's like, just okay? I mean, I have more fun on this show because this is chaotic. Those streams are not super... Those classes are not very chaotic. I have a preference for what I know I like. Would I take one of my classes? Nah, I'm a cheapskate. Foxwork is like garnish, but you already did. Oh, okay, I moved past the comment. My apologies. I get my wires crossed sometimes. It's a live stream. And all these texts are vertically stacked. Scary. Then we'll add a quarter ounce of lemon juice. I'm using lemon super juice. So, Foxwork, I'm using lemon super juice, and I know that this is going to be a bit more bitter than other things. So instead of adding a full quarter of an ounce like I did with the amaretto, I'm going to dial back just a little bit because I think it's going to be a little bit better. Granted, we have a couple of bit of liqueurs in there, so... Actually, you know what? No. No, I am going to do the full quarter ounce. Because we have Jägermeister, which is sweet, blackberry liqueur, which is sweet, and we have amaretto, which is sweet. This is going to need the sour, depending on what we're going for. Unless this is supposed to be a sour cocktail, in which case, a little bit different. But we'll find out. We'll find out together. All right, quarter ounce of lemon juice. There we go. I will say, too, that this is, what is this? This is an ounce and a half. This is 2 ounces of spirit. Oh, and a dash of Angostura bitters. This is 2 ounces of cocktail. So typically, this is a little bit of an underfilled drink. So this is not as much as you would put into a typical cocktail. Typical cocktails, depending on the way that you serve them, it does depend. Oftentimes come in the range of like anywhere between like 3 to 4 ounces. That's before dilution. That's not necessarily a rule to follow, just something that I'm thinking about off the top of my head. I will get a glass prepared for this though. I think this one will be good. And I'll do that same cold technique as I did earlier. Just to show this. I will not forget the dash of Angostura bitters. Not yet. Gonna add a little bit of my water to this. This is my drink. Do a little twirl just to get this cold while it's still on the mat. Basically, what I'm trying to do now is just chill this glass so I've got it prepared. I opt for, if we're going to strain this, now you tell me if this is supposed to be served over a cube or ice. I'm assuming that this is served up without ice, based off of what I've been provided. I wouldn't say that there's necessarily a correct way to go about doing it. I find if you want your drink's flavor to change over time without getting warm, use ice. Because the ice will melt, it'll dilute, some of those flavors will come out either more prominently or fade away a little bit. It introduces a level of evolution to the drink. Typically, things that are served up without ice are implied to be drank quickly. I don't follow those rules, because I make my own rules with drinks, but here we are. Now, We'll finish this with a single dash of Angostura bitters. I tend to do pretty fat dashes because I love these bottles, dude. Also got a little bit of bitters on my floor and the stream deck. Mazel tov. Foxworks saying, yes, sir. In my mind, no ice. There we go. That's what we'll do. Let's add some ice to this glass and give it a shake. Let's do it. Excuse me. Throw some of this in there. That should be enough. Pop it on. Let's do it. See Ryan asking, have you played with salt water ice before? I have not. I feel like you could accomplish the same thing by just adding a little bit of saline solution. A little bit, depending. It has a lower melting point, but apparently stays frozen longer. Interesting. I wonder how, yeah. I guess it depends on what you're trying to go with, right? It's gonna add some salinity, but it'll also shake less. And I feel like if you're in a heavy bar environment, unless the drink really calls for it, I gotta work. No, I haven't played with that before. Interesting. So what we'll also do is we'll prepare a little garnish. Or actually, no, we'll get to that. We'll get to that. Take my cool glass. Have my glass chilling. Chill that out. Let's give it a strain. Come here, buddy. Come here, cocktail angle. Hello there, sir. How you doing? A little bit forward. There we go. Crack it. And I ran out of strainers, so we'll use this guy. Check out the color. That is beautifully orange. With the Jägermeister, I was not expecting that to be as orange as it is. Angostura Bitters tends to be a very good colorant. So there we go. Now, I think the impression I get is that does this need a garnish? We'll set it on fire with a little bit of almond extract. So I've got a dehydrated lemon wheel. And I'm gonna add a little bit of almond extract on top of that.
How are you? And then you go back to it.
You last two, welcome into the bar with the next. It's good to have you here. If you're in the live stream, feel free to say hey-o. If not, I hope you're having a great day. So we'll douse this in a little bit of almond extract. You don't want too much of it. Just enough for the blaze. Before I garnish and before I blaze it, 420, let's try it without the garnish first. It smells almost cherry-like in a way. There's the blackberry in there. Ooh. Oh, that is so interesting! Wow! What was the quarter ounce in there? I'm trying to think of the quarter ounce. We had the Jägermeister. We added the blackberry. I could taste the blackberry. And I taste a little bit of that licorice note of the Jaeger. I love Jägermeister. I am a big fan of Jägermeister, and that is a combo I was not prepared for. God, what else is in there? We had the lemon juice. Oh, the amaretto. That's where I'm getting notes from. For me, there was something about that was almost cherry-like, but I know it's blackberry, so I know that note is not necessarily accurate. I'm gonna go in there again. Oh, that's cool. I've never had a flavor combo like that before. That blackberry is such a good match for the Jägermeister, and I did not see that coming. For the amount of lemon juice that is in this recipe, my suggestion, and I'm using super juice here, so I know that tends to be a little bit more sour and a bit more dry. I would even, as you scale this recipe up, if you scale it up to something that's a higher volume, depending on what you're going for, maybe dial back I'm trying to think if you dial back on the lemon juice a little bit or dial up it a little bit. I'd say dial up it a little bit, only because I know that for the amount of volume that I'm using for super juice, it's a bit more sour than typical lemon juice would be. The flavor of the super juice also changes a little bit over time, not super significantly after a certain point, but this is cool. Wow, that's cool. I like this. I like this, especially because I can still taste what's going on the inside. The beautiful combination of liqueurs, especially with the Jaeger. And like another thing that Jaeger has is a sort of numbing sensation on the tongue. I haven't felt that in so long, dude. I feel like anything I put Jaeger in has been wonderful, and I didn't expect it to. This is cool. So now, naturally, let's put a garnish on it. Oh, Theovar with the super chat. Thank you for your donation. Indeed, thank you for your donation. Also, we have ads running, so I'm gonna wait to garnish this because it's gonna be a fiery spectacle, and I don't want y'all to miss it. Ryan says too, I was expecting dark brown, honestly. So let's see, what we added in there? We added the Jägermeister, which comes in a darker brown hue. We added lemon juice, which makes it a bit cloudy, a little bit on the yellow side. Amaretto has a light brown color, and the Angostura brings it more into that red territory. This is really cool. I'm trying to think of any pointers that I can give for this. This is what I'm thinking. So, Foxwork, I'm going to give you my thoughts as a fellow inspired drinks mixologist on this. I'm very curious to know if this is a drink for Sephiroth, and it represents Sephiroth. I'm curious to see which part of the ingredients is inspired by which part of Sephiroth and how it pulls from his and as an individual. One of the things that I wrestle a lot with when making inspired drinks is I wonder whether or not what I put together, like if it's good and it tastes great, wonderful, that's half the battle. If it doesn't represent the character in some way, and the connection of how it represents the character is totally yours to play around with. So if you're like, oh no, I feel like I'm chained by this new requirement that I have, that's not the point of it. The point is to be able to draw parallels between Blackberry and Sephiroth, the Jägermeister and Sephiroth, which honestly I can vibe with already, right? Jägermeister being the hunter, the master hunter. So I haven't played Final Fantasy VII. I don't know much about Sephiroth, but being the big bad evil guy, Master Hunter feels kind of appropriate there, right? The Amaretto being a little bit of a kind of a support to the base flavors of the Jägermeister, which again is a really cool combination I've never tried before. That's my only thoughts on inspiration notes. Also, other than that, if you're serving this to folks, it's a smaller cocktail. You could probably up the total volume of the cocktail a little bit. Exactly how much? I don't know.
Nice.
Theovara, thanks. The super chats. Let me finish my thought here, but I see the question, hardest game you've ever played. I've got an answer to that. So I would suggest upping the recipe a little bit, just in terms of the total volume, only because it's kind of a small cocktail. And again, if you're serving this like without ice, this is meant to be sipped quickly, and then the experience of Sephiroth is all over. In a way, I tend to enjoy my drinks a little bit longer, but different strokes, different folks, obviously. I'm seeing Foxwork saying, because of the blackberry liqueur, I was thinking it was going to be darker, so more his color. That's a very fair point there. Playing around with also what colors come out as well. I like where your head's at, where you're like, I don't know if the color matches Sephiroth. To be fair, this is a nice, like, orange, rouge, almost amber color. I don't know. Might be something to play around with. This is a combination that I'm going to try not to forget. Jaeger and the blackberry together is very cool. And I wouldn't have been able to try this without you making the suggestion. So thank you for that. I also love Jägermeister. I want more reasons to use Jägermeister. So Theovara asks in the super chat, what is the hardest game you've ever played? Undertale was difficult. The Sans fight in Undertale was difficult and frustrating. Now, is it the hardest game I've ever played? It depends on what you mean by that. Of the games that I've played that were too difficult for me, I stopped playing them, but I kept playing Undertale. I would say that Sans Battle is one of the hardest things that I've done in terms of video game history. One of the more difficult things that I did with my Thinky Brain was a Minecraft mod series that I did on the stream a while ago, where I built a whole auto mining system, and that's hard, but more conceptually hard. But I don't think Minecraft is a hard game. I hope that answers your question. I'm seeing Foxworks saying too, the Jägermeister and Amaretto show that he was originally a hopeful soldier. The bitters and lemon are how he was tainted by madness and war. The blackberry added some color. That's fair too. And to be fair too, one of the things that I remember about blackberry liqueurs versus black raspberry liqueur, the Chambord that we used the other day is black raspberry, not blackberry. But I'm sure there's a blackberry liqueur out there. I think Genovka LaRue makes a nice blackberry brandy. I just don't have a bottle of it. I should try to find that. Yeah, I'm gonna write it on my board. I'm gonna write it on my board as nice to haves. Blackberry brandy. Because I've thought about that a couple of times, actually. I've thought about that. Ryan says Black House. Ah, but that's blackberry schnapps, so that's not necessarily a liqueur. Somebody did ask about that, too. I might have been you in the very beginning, Ryan. Ryan saying, too, in reference to saltwater ice, if you add a heaping half teaspoon of salt for each cup of water to have a similar ratio to ocean water, more salt will continue to lower the freezing temp. That's fair. That's fair. So now, we had this thought of whether or not this would be a nice garnish for Sephiroth, so let's give it a try, right? I'm trying to play around with exactly how we change the lighting situation. I'm not very good at changing the lighting situation, but I think I can do this. Let me turn off the big lights. That's the wrong button, Cameron. There we go. Alexa, turn all the lights to 20%. There we go. Oh, my computer screen. Hold up a second, y'all. Hold up a second, y'all. Let's see if we can set it on fire. Oh, you're upside down. Hi there, y'all. Sorry. Jay Swizzle, welcome in, dude. Try a good creme de mure. Oh, is creme de mure black raspberry? I didn't even think about that. Y'all, Jay Swizzle's great. Check out Jay Swizzle's bar on Twitch. Hold on, I gotta bring the... Sorry, y'all, you're going for a ride. You're going for a ride. I gotta put the cocktail angle back. There we go, we're back. Blackberry, you know what? I didn't even think about that. I forgot that creme de mure was a thing. Thank you, Jay Swizzle. What we're gonna try to do... Set this on fire. Washi fluid. Thank you, Cole. Thank you, Cole. Thank you, Cole. Let's see if this will work. We're gonna try to set Sephi on fire. I'm gonna add a little almond extract soaked lime. Nope. An almond extract soaked lemon wheel. Pop that on top. Set it ablaze. Oh, it's not keeping the flame. Let me add some more almond extract and see if we can get that to go up. I actually don't know whether the almond extract is flammable, so let me double check that first. Oh, it's not super flammable. Doesn't keep a flame. That's okay. We're gonna make it keep a flame. Let's add, this is not necessarily what we're going for, but let's add a little bit of lemon extract on top. This'll help. This'll really help. There we go. That's Sephiroth. Only because I can. Let's do a little cinnamon. Only because we can. Now let me turn the lights back on. I don't have an automatic way to put the lights back on, unfortunately, so it's this long, steady process. There we go. We're back. Alexa, turn on the bar lights. Alexa, turn on the bar lights. There we go. That's what. Foxworks says overproof rum. That'll also work. It will also work. The only reason I haven't been gravitating towards overproof rum very much is because I found that extracts actually have, from what I found, a better flame than overproof rum. But it depends. You have to use a lot of overproof rum, at least from what I found. Maybe I'm just not using enough. And only because I can, let's try it again. But make sure that the rim is not hot. Still kind of hot, so be careful with this. Oh, no, 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 no. That's fine. Way too limiting. That extract doesn't even taste like lemon anymore. Ugh. Whoa. I wouldn't recommend drinking it after the fact. Oh my gosh. Jay Swizzle's like, your commands to Alexa just turn on my bar light. Dude, Inception. Barception. Oh my gosh. Alright, let's put that away. Put the fire away. Foxwork, thank you. That was an adventure. And I love adventures. Granted, all things considered, I kind of ruined it, so I don't think I'm going to keep drinking it. I just put a shit ton of cinnamon over top of it, but we got fire. We got fire. Ryan's like, washer fluid. Let's do it, y'all. Let's do it. Let me turn my monitor back.